Hello, world changers. Miss Largess here, coming to you from the Penguin Chair. All right, as we launch week 8 of distance learning, this week we are going to be continuing to learn about self image and self worth. And as Mrs. Miller shared with you last week, self image is, again, self is about yourself, how you envision. So, image is the picture that you have of yourself, self worth being the value that you place on yourself. Now we're going to look at a famous person, Thomas Alva Edison, and we're going to learn about what brought him his self worth and provided his self image, and how others tend to have an influence on how we see ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. So, this week you have basically 2 assignments. The first assignment is simply to read the story. Then the second part of the assignment will be to answer questions in a Word document, just like you did last week, all through It's Learning, where you're going to just type right into the document and it will automatically save. Before you read the story this week, know that when you get to the article itself, you'll have 2 options. The first option will be that you can just download the PDF or upload it and read it directly on your own. You can also upload it and listen to me reading it. So there are several ways for you to get to the article, whether you want someone to read it with you or you want to read it all on your own. Either way, both options are available for you in the It's Learning platform. Okay? So, but before you get there, I want to make sure that we've gone through a couple of vocabulary words. So, going back to Greek and Latin roots, you're going to hear a lot of words with tele, T-E-L-E, which is the Greek root that comes from a distance or means coming from afar. So words like telephone, telegraph, telecast, television, these are words that you may hear because Edison was responsible for creating some of those. Same thing with graph. So graph is a Greek root for to write. So autograph, biograph, biography. All right. And the other word that you will hear this week will have odd in it. So A-U-D, which is the Latin root for to hear. So audio, auditorium, audience. Okay. So listen for those words and understand when you don't necessarily know what the word is. If you think about what the Greek or Latin root is, that will help you to understand it. Okay. All right. And last, there are some phrases in this article that you may not be familiar with. So I just wanted to go over those with you first. So you might read phrases such as he boasted. To boast about something is to mean that you're very proud of it. Okay. So he boasted of an invention that he made, perhaps. So he was very proud of something that he had done. By all accounts means that there's just a general agreement. So by all accounts, he's a very good student. So generally agreed that people thought that he was a good student. Double dose of curiosity. So we know curiosity means to inquire, to want to know more on a deeper level, right? So you to be very curious about something means you really want to understand it. A double dose means that you're not only taking in a little bit, but you want a whole lot, like a double dose of it. Means that you're more curious than most people. Okay, that's what they say about Edison. Addled, A-D-D-L-E-D, is a word that you don't see very often, but you'll hear his teacher describe him as addled. And that is someone generally who is very easily distracted. So he probably had a lot of, because he was so curious, he was often distracted and thinking about other things. And so his teacher made a comment about that. Seized his imagination. So to seize the day, S-E-I-Z-E, to seize something is to grab onto it and hold it. So if you can say he seized his imagination, he grabbed hold of his imagination and he grabbed hold of things that really interested him. Okay, so he was attracted to those things and he wanted to understand more. All right, and finally, a daily round trip. So back in his era, people took trains back and forth. And this part of this story is he lived in Michigan, and he took a train back and forth round trip between Port Huron, which is where he lived, and Detroit, which is where he worked. So a daily round trip means that he got on the train in Port Huron, took it to Detroit, got back on the train in Detroit, and went back home. Okay, so just want to make sure you understand what that means. Okay. I think that's going to do it for now. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to your teachers. Again, you're going to save your information automatically in It's Learning. You can edit it before you submit it, but please be sure to hit the submit button so it goes directly to your teacher so you can get credit for your amazing work. All right, Penguins, we miss you. Have a great week. Miss Largess, signing out.